de las cosas. ¿Está preparada tu empresa para enfrentar los desafíos? Duffet nos dice cómo. Y cuando las señales se hayan apagado, lo vamos a esperar en nuestro avión. Duffet, director mundial de la comunidad Asterisk. Duffet es ingeniero experimentado a nivel mundial e instructor calificado en Asterisk. Es considerado un orador fundamental en los eventos dedicados a comunicaciones, telefonía y Asterisk en todo el mundo, destacando su presencia en Estados Unidos e Inglaterra. Sobresale en la comunicación de temas técnicos y cuestiones a audiencias de diferentes niveles de comprensión técnica, y su experiencia incluye comunicaciones de control de tráfico aéreo, bucle local inalámbrico, redes móviles, telefonía de computadora, voz sobre IP y Asterisk específicamente. De hecho, Asterisk, el motor de telefonía IP de código abierto y el entorno de desarrollo de aplicaciones, está presente en la mayoría de las cosas en las que David está participando, desde el director comunitario de Digium y el suministro de formación Asterisk hasta la provisión ocasional de soluciones personalizadas, equipos basados en Asterisk, consultoría y apoyo. Además de muchos artículos en la web, las publicaciones de David incluyen Asterisk 1.4, The Professional's Guide, Pact coautor, la contribución de un capítulo sobre internacionalización a Asterisk, The Definitive Guide, O'Reilly y más recientemente Getting Started with Elastics. David es responsable editorialmente de Astricon, el evento mundial anual de Asterisk, donde David también inició un concurso basado en Asterisk hace varios años y ha sido un orador frecuente y MC. Ha hablado en Aster Conference Asia y ha presidido este evento, IT Expo Este y Oeste y una serie de eventos corporativos. También ha hablado en numerosas otras conferencias, Desarrollador VoIP, Speech World, Site Expo y UC Expo, por nombrar algunos. Sin mayor preámbulo, demos la bienvenida con un fuerte aplauso para David Duffet. Un honor tenerlo en este evento y tenerlo a bordo de este avión. Gracias, buenas tardes.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. Oh, hello. Hola. Buenas noches. Buenos días. It's great to be here. I've got my little... Is it this clicker or this clicker? This one. This is the clicker. Okay, let me try that and see what happens. Okay, great. Anyway, it's wonderful to be here. I would like to say a very big special thank you to Martha and Boris and all of the team at Toga for putting on such an excellent event. Let's give them a round of applause. And the airline theme is really special, so well done, Martha. Great job. Okay, what I'd like to talk about is how the Asterisk, and therefore Isabel, is a gateway to the world and also to the Internet of Things. But I'd like to cover just a few different areas, actually. I'd like to talk about the background to Asterisk, just for a small amount, in case there's anybody in the room that didn't cover that before. Then get on to Isabel, and then move towards the Asterisk and the Internet of Things. And I realise that there will be some technical people in the audience who might want a little bit of a project update about Asterisk and where it's going, so we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll finish off with a few stories, because although it's exciting, it's open source software, at the end of it all, we're all human beings, aren't we? We're all people with families, we're all wanting to make the world a better place. And so that's what I'd also like to talk about. But before I do that, I'd like to do a quick test with you. because we've been here quite a long time, haven't we? And it'd just be nice to get to know each other a little bit more. So what I'd like you to do is just put your hands in front of you like this. Everybody has to do this. You just put the hands in front, clasp them together, and you instantly notice that one of your thumbs is on top. It might be the left thumb, or it might be the right thumb on top. Put your hands in the air if you've got a left thumb. Keep your hands up and have a good look around the audience. Very important for the people that have got the left thumbs up, because they are the sexy people in the audience. Okay? It's very exciting, isn't it? Okay, and who was the right thumb up? Who's got the right thumb? Okay, keep your hands up, have a good look at, because they think they're the sexy people in the audience. But fortunately, this talk does apply to both groups in this case. All right, let's run along then. Good. So, to start with, how do we learn? Well, I'm sure most of you have got children or come across children in one way or another. When children get together, how do they start learning? Oh, playing. I forgot, I've got some chocolates to give away as little mini prizes for people that answer questions. So Nick is the first one, and I'll give you this one's my favourite. Okay, yes, children learn by playing, and I would submit to you that actually we all learn by playing, don't we? We all like to play around with stuff, whether it's technology stuff or other stuff. And so what Asterisk gave people is the power to play. Nobody was playing with a Mitel PBX. Nobody was playing with a Nortel PBX, thousands of dollars. And when Mark Spencer created Asterisk and made it freely available, it gave people the power to play, and therefore the power to try different things, and the power to learn. And so Asterisk effectively created a playground for technologists to try different things. It put the... I'd like to use a quote here, and the quote is this: you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. In order to achieve anything, you need to take the first step, don't you? A journey of 1,000 kilometres actually begins with the first. And that's a lovely quote that I like to look at. And here's somebody that did start and is therefore become great. They started and they achieved something. It's Mark Spencer. He created Asterisk back in 1999, so it's Asterisk's 18th birthday. Asterisk becomes an adult this year, and he made it, as you know, a system for his business. And he didn't like the fact that the existing systems out there were very closed and proprietary. Coming from a Linux background, he thought things should be much more open. And he thought, if I can get a telephone call into a computer, it's just software, and then I can do whatever I want with it. I might want to play messages to the caller, I might want to recognise digits that are pressed, I can do anything I want. And so Mark Spencer is one of those people that started. And he started something absolutely amazing, absolutely revolutionary. It took him 3 years, though, to work out that Asterisk really had a big life of its own, and so Asterisk initially to be a tool in his company called Linux Support Services, but after 3 years he realised that actually the focus of what he was doing should be Asterisk itself. And so what is Asterisk today? Well, it's the most powerful, the most flexible, and the most widely deployed open source communications platform in the world. Not just in this room, not just in Mexico, not just in the United States, but in the whole of the world. And it's used all over the place. But one of the things that made it very, very useful in its early days was the Zapata telephony cards. So here's somebody else that started something amazing. This is Jim Dixon. And for those of you that don't know, Jim sadly passed away some months ago. So he's no longer with us. But he's somebody also that was great, and somebody that started something very, very special. It was around the year 2000. Think back to the age of the 286 piece. And Jim thought to himself, all this stuff that comes in on telephone calls and people are using very expensive dialogic cards to process, cards that cost tens of thousands of dollars, soon, with the 386 PC, the power of the processor will probably be enough to do all of that important stuff that on the host processor. That was one of his ideas. And so he figured that all you'd really got to do was to have a telephony card to get the signal into the computer, and that card could be very cheap because it only needed the basic components of it, on it, I should say. And so Jim did that, he came up with the Zapata telephony project. It's still there now. You can go to zapatatelephony.org to see that original website. And as you know, he named it after Emiliano Zapata, the Mexican revolutionary. And that first card he created was called the Tormenta, because he figured it was going to create a very big storm in the industry. And it did. And actually, this was also part of the journey of Asterisk and Digium, because without the sales of these early cards, Digium wouldn't have become as successful as it did in being able to bring Asterisk out there freely, because of these cards helped Digium grow in the very, very early days. So those are two people that started something spectacular. Okay, and Asterisk, you'll probably remember, in those early 2000s, it was out around the same time as SIP. And although I would not say that Asterisk is directly responsible for the growth of SIP, I believe it played a very large part, because it was there, it was freely available to people, and it let them play with SIP and try things out. And so the growth of SIP and the growth of Asterisk are not entirely unrelated. And today, Asterisk has done that with WebRTC as well. It's allowed people to play with WebRTC. And as we go towards this era of the Internet of Things, Asterisk allows technologies as well. That's a way to do that. Okay, some brief history of Asterisk. We'll see that Asterisk started off in 1999. You can see on the screen behind me that it's grown over the years. One thing I would like to point out, and that is, if I can point just here, between Asterisk major overhauls in terms of Asterisk, if we were still calling Asterisk 1 point something, that change should have been going to Asterisk 2.0, but the numbering system had already been changed, so it was a bit too late to do that. But it was a very big architectural change between Asterisk 11 and Asterisk 12. And I'll come back and Latin America, probably because of that Latino entrepreneurial spirit, the desire for success, and the fact that people in this region were already making very, very good use of Linux. So Asterisk provided that point of entry, in fact that free point of entry by using Asterisk open source, and so it really began to gather momentum in this region in the early 2000s. And today, Toga are spearheading Asterisk's use and commercialization in the region. That's a slide of some training taking part, going on in Toga HQ here in Mexico City. And you can see a picture of the team there from a previous event. Now, we can't be in Latin America talking about Asterisk without talking about elastics, really. This is kind of part of the story, isn't it? And I think, you know, we can all have opinions about what's happened, but I do believe that the guys that did elastics made some progress here for Asterisk in the Latin community. And so I want to acknowledge the work that they did. And Toga, as you know, worked with elastics as well. And we had the Elastics Be Free event here more than once in Mexico City. But things have moved on, haven't they, as you all know. And so now the open source torch is passing on to another project. And that project is Isabel. Isabel is the aeroplane that's flying now. And it's been a great feeling today to see the spirit of open source really happening, to see the people with the heart of open source, the team that are doing Isabel, all come together for the common good of everybody. That's a very, very heartwarming thing. And looking out from Digium into the world of Asterisk, we see people using Asterisk in all sorts of different ways and for all sorts of different things. Some are very hard commercializations, others have just got that community spirit. And Isabel is one of those things that has that community spirit. So I want to say a great big thank you to the people that are working on Isabel on your behalf. In fact, let's just give them a little round of applause, the Isabel team. Of course, what we must not forget is that just like Elastics was powered by Asterisk, Isabel is also powered by Asterisk. The engines that are flying the aeroplane are the Asterisk open source project. And Asterisk is a very, very powerful thing. By the way, here you get to see a picture of each of the top team in the Isabel project there. And if you've not already met them, they're all wearing Isabel t-shirts, so you can come up and say hello to them, maybe give them a nice little pat, and say thank you very much before the event ends. So, Asterisk is a very, very powerful engine, and I believe Asterisk has a role to play in the way the Internet of Things world starts to occur. And this was last year at Astricon, which is our global event. Astricon attracts 700 or 800 people once a year. It's 3 days of events just about Asterisk. That's all it is, Asterisk all the time. And this particular guy here, oh, didn't want to do that. This particular guy here is a guy called Chris Matthew. Chris Matthew is the IoT director for Citrix. You know, Citrix, fairly big company. He's their IoT director. And he did a keynote last year at Astricon called the Asterisk of Things, because he believes that Asterisk has a role to play as part of the man-machine interface to that Internet of Things world. Okay, let me press that button. And what he said is that while all of these different Internet of Things are talking to each other in their different protocols, your refrigerator might be talking to your light switch, and your toilet, your WC, might be talking to your curtains or your drapes or whatever, actually, we need a way for humans to talk to them. And of course, one of the ways that humans can talk to them is by apps on the smartphone. But not everybody likes apps. Some people feel they're a bit apped out. Some older people don't like using apps. And of course, the natural interface that we all have, that we've been using today, is voice. Voice is a very natural interface for these kind of things. And it just so happens that using Asterisk technology, you can have voice on one side and some IoT protocol on the other. So Asterisk speaks many different protocols, and here's some examples. This is not a comprehensive list, but there's a few there. And it's time I gave away some chocolates. Can anybody tell me, what does PRI stand for? PRI. Primary Rate Interface. Well done, that man. Top class. Okay, what about IAX? Who said that? Inter-asterisk exchange. Quite right, sir. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. There you go. There you go. 2 for 1. Yes, the inter-asterisk exchange. That's a protocol also created by Mark Spencer for 2 asterisks to be able to talk to each other and more. What I'm trying to say here is Asterisk speaks lots of different protocols. What about those ones down at the bottom? FXO and FXS, the older analog stuff. It talks that as well. It can do all of these things. But look at the ones that I've emboldened. I've emboldened 3 there. There's the AMI, the AGI, and the ARI. Now, these are all Asterisk interfaces. Can anybody tell me what AMI stands for? Oh, he's in there. As we say in England, he was in there like a rat up a drain pipe. Well done, that man. Whoa, yes, well done, John. Yes, AMI, the Asterisk Manager Interface. This is Asterisk CTI, or Computer Telephony Integration Interface. What happens when you use AMI is Asterisk kind of waits there, minding its own business, and then you come in with a command, either on port 5038 if it's TCP/IP, or port 8088 if it's HTTP, and you tell Asterisk to do something, and then Asterisk does it. AGI, what about AGI? Who knows what AGI stands for? I don't know who said that. So what I'm going to do is just go like this. Okay. Because that way I thought I'd just cover everybody. Okay, so thank you very much. Asterisk Gateway Interface. Yeah, that's slightly the other way round. Rather than Asterisk kind of sitting there minding its own business and a command coming in, the Asterisk Gateway Interface, what happens there is usually a phone call comes in, and then Asterisk enacts a script. It runs a script, and that script could do anything. That script could be going out checking websites, it could be switching on your TV, it could be doing anything. That's the AGI. So last one, the ARI. What does ARI stand for? Yeah, was that you, sir? Is that right? I think it was you. Oh, was it somebody further on? Not sure. Okay, the Asterisk RESTful Interface, the ARI. And the great thing about the ARI is it's different to the AGI and the AMI in that both of those really kind of operate at the edge of Asterisk. Whereas the ARI, the asterisk RESTful interface, allows people to come in and go into the heart of asterisk, to have the same level of access to the asterisk core as asterisk's own applications do, like app dial or app queue or app voicemail. All of those can dive very deeply into the core of asterisk, and now using the ARI, you can do that too. So with that in mind, if we now look at this, we can see that on the left side here, we can have protocols that can convey voice. So people can ring in and talk over SIP, over PRI, over BRI, over FXO. Then asterisk can translate what's going on and gateway using either AMI, AGI, ARI into that world of the Internet of Things. Why did I put SIP there as well? Because some things are already SIP enabled in that Internet of Things world, aren't they? Just to name one, you might be aware of Grandstream's range of security projects, like security cameras and door entry systems, and they already talk SIP. So that's why I put those there as communicating in SIP. Of course, the other thing that's happened over the recent years is we've gone to the web, haven't we, with WebRTC. And of course, as you know, Asterisk was the very first open source communications project to adopt WebRTC and to make it work back in Asterisk 11. And so that means Asterisk can also use the WebRTC technology as a gateway into different interfaces. So what I'm saying here is Asterisk is a very, 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 very powerful tool in terms of giving you access from a human side in voice into the world of the Internet of Things via any one of these different protocols. And of course, when you run an AGI script or an ARI script, they can be in any language that's executable, and they can be talking to any other APIs as well. APIs for home automation, APIs for building management control, all of these kind of different things. Okay, so I want to just now take a little sidestep and just talk about Asterisk as a project and give you a brief update and just delve into one of the technicalities about it. As I told you, between Asterisk 11 and Asterisk 12 was a very major project update. Lots of things internally were changed. The three big ones were a brand new SIP stack called PJ-SIP that's in there, as opposed to CHAN-SIP. Both of those still ship. Both CHAN-SIP is still available in Asterisk 13 and 14, but PJ-SIP is there now, and we're encouraging people to move towards PJ-SIP. One of the reasons for that is, although our own CHAN-SIP was good, there's nothing particularly wrong with it, it was written by Mark Spencer starting in 1999, and it's grown over the years, but it's a very big chunk of code, and it's a monolithic chunk of code. And what that means is, if you change something down here, it might break something over here. That could happen, and we didn't really want that kind of stuff going on. And so what we tried to do, also for the purposes of interoperability, was adopt somebody else's SIP stack, and PJ-SIPs passed all of the tests that we laid down when we were considering the different type of SIP stacks. Also, there's that new API I was just talking about, the ARI, the Asterisk RESTful interface, and very importantly as well, a new bridging model. We introduced an application called ConfBridge in Asterisk 1.8, and that had such a good bridging model in it that we adopted that bridging model for all the transactions that happen inside Asterisk in Asterisk 11, 12 and in 12 and 13 and onwards. Okay, what's happened in Asterisk 14, which is the current release as we speak? There's been a DNS overhaul. There's been the ability to publish extension states to other SIP entities. Sorry, mind your way there, John. I'll come back a little bit. I don't want to be in John Bonilla's way. Could be trouble. We've also got playback of media from remote HTTP sources via a URI, enhanced ARI media manipulation, ARI channel creation, and I want to point out that we've drastically improved the wiki. There's so much documentation on the wiki. So please, if you've ever got anything that you want to look at, make wiki.asterisk.org the first place you go and look. There's a lot of information there. So thinking specifically of this ability to publish your extension state to external entities like Kamailio, like OpenSIPs, anything really that can deal with SIP. Why would we do that? Well, we remove the state from Asterisk, and that improves scalability. It allows us to build larger, resilient and redundant systems. and allows offloading of individual subscription management. Beg your pardon. What supported body types are there? Well, I won't read them out, but those are the body types that are available for you to use. In pjsip.conf, there's, that slide didn't actually come out very well. The formatting's gone on that one. But I'll make sure that the copy that you guys get available afterwards actually has that formatted correctly, but that's just some sample configuration in pjsip. Auto hint support is there as well, so that's very nice. What can you connect it with? Well, the main things that people are going to use it with are things like OpenSIPs and Kamailio for scaling very, very large, redundant, resilient systems. But anything that can act as a SIP presence aggregator is game. You can connect up to anything, including other asterisks, of course. And the main credit there went to one of our developers called Josh Culp, another guy called Kevin Harwell, and also members of the open source development team as well. Okay, as I said, make sure you go to Asterisk Wiki. You can find out what's new in Asterisk 13 and new in Asterisk 14 in that wiki. Okay, I want to get onto the human side of Asterisk, because it's all very well having all this technology, it's all very well it being open source, but if it's not impacting the lives of people, what is the point of doing it? I want to first talk about the gift of hope. If you've been in the Asterisk community for a long time, you may have seen this one. This was a bicycle-powered Asterisk going on over in Africa. Now, of course, you can bicycle power anything, but I've never heard of anybody bicycle powering a Nortel PBX or a Mytel PBX. But here they did this, and it brought communications to remote villages in Uganda where they didn't even have regular power, never mind telecommunications. And I believe that the same technology was also used in Haiti after the earthquake to get communications up and running there. The gift of encouragement. In Atlanta, Georgia, in the USA, in one of their correctional organizations, they now have a project called Georgia Calls. You can see it down there, up there, Georgia Calls, which is where they've got some Asterisk-based contact centers that they encourage people that are in the correctional facilities to go and work in, and therefore remove or lessen the possibility of their reoffending. And so that's a wonderful thing as well. And one of my favourites came from a guy from Poland, Jacob Klauser, a regular Astricon. He put an Asterisk-based system into a coal mine. As you can see, some bad things happened, and this particular guy didn't make it, but the good news is the people involved did make it. Asterisk saved lives, or saved a life in that particular case. So that's a very wonderful thing. And over in Latin America, where we are, this is showing you a contact centre that's staffed by blind people, run by or powered by Asterisk as well. So Asterisk really is affecting the real lives of people. So, in conclusion, Asterisk put the power to play into your hands. Before Asterisk existed, you couldn't just go and play with a PBX. You've got to pay several $1,000s to get into the game, but Asterisk made that possible. It fosters growth. Asterisk has allowed you all and the people that are exhibiting in the hall next door to build businesses for the next generation of communications. And Asterisk has traditionally been seen as a PBX, which it does very, very well, but Asterisk is so much more than that. Asterisk is an open source communications platform that will allow you to do anything you want to do. A lot of times now, people are building it with Kamailio or OpenSIPs into very, very large systems. Largest one I know about at the moment handles 56 million calls every week. That's in the Philippines. That's quite big. And of course, people are using it with other systems as well, like Kamailio. They're using Homer, a great open source project for testing and for monitoring your SIP traffic. And of course, for rapid deployment, people are using virtualization and projects like Docker. Okay, Zig Ziglar said this. He said, you can have everything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And that's true, isn't it? It's a very true thing. And the question that I want to leave you with is we've been given a lot in the open source community. We've been given all sorts of amazing things. Asterisk is one of them. Elastics was one of them, and now Isabel is another amazing thing we're being given. People are putting effort in to give things, and the big question I have is what can we give back to the human race? So, Asterisk and Isabel provide you with the power to play and to create solutions for the next generation of communications needs. Thank you very much. And I believe that we do have time for a couple of questions. It says we've got 2 minutes on the clock. Oh, and I see John's got his hand up with the first question. Go ahead, John.
Okay, David. I asked a question via Twitter to Matt Jordan and Digium some weeks ago, and it was about the G729 codec. The license of the codec expired on January the 1st.
Yes.
So it's a royalty-free codec now.
Yes.
So will we see a free codec G729 by Digium?
Okay, yes. I thought this question might crop up. So I did a little bit of research into it. Yes, so historically, in fact, this is an opportunity for people to win a chocolate. Historically, Digium have charged an amount per channel, haven't they? How much is it per channel? John Bunnier, $10 per channel. Okay. Now, out of that $10, actually, just before we go into the out of the $10, what do you get for that $10? What you got was the G729 codec in a compiled, optimized, kind of working and performant way that you could use with your version of Asterisk. In other words, there was some work involved. Now, to give you a breakdown, out of that $10, somewhere between $1 and $2 was actually paid to the consortium for SIP, okay? And the remaining $8 went to Digium and paid for the people compiling and testing and all of that kind of stuff. As of the 1st of January, when the consortium stopped requiring that payment, Digium reduced the cost of the license down to, does anybody know the new cost of a license? Not 5, it's 8. So it's reduced down to $8. In other words, the amount of money that was being paid to the consortium is now being deducted from that. In fact, a little bit more. And Digium will continue to charge for $8 for, number one, compiling, testing, making sure that the G729 codecs work on all the different versions of Asterisk that people want. But also, any money that's left after that will just go into funding the Asterisk project. And now, if anybody in the open source community would like to actually contribute a G729 codec that's, that doesn't need that mechanism, then we're very open to building that in alongside R1. But for as long as we're supplying R1, we will continue to make a charge. Okay. Thank you. Who's got the next question? Okay. In that. Do we have a?
Do you have a roadmap for
okay.
15, which I guess will be the next LTS?
Yes. Asterisk 15 will be out before too long. You're quite right. It will be an LTS. Generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, we tend to match the release of Asterisk versions with Astericon. Astericon this year is going to be October the 3rd to the 5th, so I think it's safe to say that around that time, Asterisk 15 will come out. In terms of what's going to be in it, if you just go to GitHub, because you know we're now hosted on GitHub, and read the notes of what's going into the latest 14 releases, then you'll see what's going to come out as the LTS. Thank you, John. Okay, do we have another question? Oh, we have a question from Saul.
It's not really a question. I was answering to John, so I thought I might as well say it on the mic.
Right.
There's a very interesting talk by Matt Fredrickson from Kamaile World. You all may want to look at that because he did share some insights of what's coming to Asterisk 15, and there's some really exciting stuff.
Excellent. Yes, good call. Matt Fredrickson, by the way, is now in charge of the Asterisk project. It was Matt Jordan, but Matt Jordan's moved to be the CTO in Digium for everything we do, including Switchvox and all the stuff. So Matt Fredrickson is now looking after Asterisk. And if you know Matt Fredrickson, he looks as if he's about 12 years old. but he's actually around his 30s. He's a married man with 3 children, and he's actually been working on Asterisk a very, very long time. Long time, so it's in very good hands. Okay, any other questions? Oh, we do have one just there.
Hello, David. What is the road for Digium in the channels? CHAN-zip or PJ-zip?
Okay,
PJ-zip.
that's a good question. Let me just give Saul his chocolate. I forgot to give Saul. And one for you, Juan. Oh, okay. So the question was, where is Asterisk heading in terms of CHAN-zip and PJ-zip? It's definitely to PJ-zip. Asterisk will be going towards PJ-zip. We will continue including CHAN-zip for as long as people need it, but we would strongly advise people to move towards PJ-zip. PJ-zip is better in many, many different ways. Probably the number one is modularity. Everything is in modules. And so you remember when I was saying in CHAN-zip, if you twist something here, you might break something over here. That can't happen in PJ-zip because of its modularity. And so the straight answer is PJ-zip all the way.
No more questions? So David, thank you very much for your talk.
Thank
it was
you
a
for
great
the
presentation
opportunity.
always. So this is a gift for you and a certificate for your participation. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Shall we? Thanks very much. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Blue 4, Foxtrot, cross 4 left, where do you enter?
North ramp, Blue 4, cleared across 4 left.
Blue 4, Roger, where do you enter the ramp?
Okay, bueno, vamos a quedarnos aquí porque la siguiente actividad que tenemos